Thank you. The no victory has been labelled by some. Ms Thorpe, unfortunately, can't be here as a win for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander individuals, and that now is the time to focus on treaty. What indicates that the Australian people would support a treaty? I mean, obviously, following on from the results of the no vote on Saturday. Do you support treaty and truth still?
Well, we have to look at the result that we've been given. What we said when we went to the election and then what we acted upon was the full implementation of the Uluru Statement from the Heart.
So that was your promise?
We have just tried to deliver on that promise, and we've got some feedback from the Australian people that that's not the path they want us to take.
Hang on a minute, I just want to get clarity because this is important.
This is important.
Are you saying that you think that the result you got was against the whole Uluru Statement?
No, but I'm saying that our commitment to implement the Uluru Statement from the Heart in full is, given the result that we've received, is unable to be implemented.
No.
But no, that's the truth.
No, the constitutional change has been defeated. Yeah. A Makarrata, a truth-telling process that is not being defeated. Do you support it?
And some of the Makarrata work has already been underway. Linda Burney has outlined that over a number of months.
And are you still committed to it?
That is still our policy today. That is work that is undergoing.
And do you think it should be fully executed?
Well, I'll be honest. I thought we'd have more truth-telling happen as a part of this referendum. I thought we'd have more people educated about what has happened in Australia since colonisation. That has not been the nature of the debate. That was an expectation I personally had.
Isn't that on the government?
Well, I'm talking about an expectation I had personally about what sort of a debate we would have around, would you have people who had more insights, education and awareness of a range of things that have happened across Australia's history, but that wasn't the sort of debate we had. We did have a debate that was a little bit, in some places, we didn't get the depth of discussion that I thought we would.
OK, so do you still support all of the Uluru Statement? Just final clarity from you.
From every day I've sat in the Parliament, I've supported the Uluru Statement, but I also need to be very realistic that we have had a vote in a referendum about amending our constitution to implement it that was not successful. And I think everyone is thinking through, and the government is thinking through, how do we take that result where you do have both people who voted yes and people who voted no saying they want better results, they want to see governments listen more, but it is not the path that we'd put forward. How I put it is this: there's broad agreement that the current system is broken. There is not yet broad agreement on the path forward.
James, you certainly oppose this pretty strongly and were clearly very successful if you look at the referendum results. But you haven't really provided an alternative, and we know the status quo is absolutely rotten.
And what Peter has said is that he wants Jacinta and Karen to lead a review of our policies, and to begin with, both Jacinta and Karen are pushing for an audit of the spending that goes in to Aboriginal communities. Billions of dollars are being spent. This is money of the taxpayers of Australia is being spent, and it's not getting the outcomes. It's not closing the gap at the moment. So the Coalition would like to see an audit of how and where the money is being spent. If it is working in some areas, why is it working there? If it's not working in other areas, well, there needs to be change.
There's a lot of...
There was an audit done earlier this year. They could probably ask for that audit, and I'm sure it's available. And based on some of that audit, changes have been made in terms of how money has been spent. So, for example, in Alice Springs, there's, I think, a $250 million investment into Central Australia. Alcohol assaults are down 30% since January. There's 40 Indigenous people employed now to patrol the streets and make Alice Springs safer. So there are things being done all the time as a result of the audit.
We're talking about an audit of all spending into Indigenous communities across Australia. It's billions of dollars that is being spent. We need to make sure that your money as taxpayers of Australia is being spent appropriately, and as importantly, we need to ensure that the recipients of that, our fellow Indigenous Australians, are getting the support that they need.